Hi guys, I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome to Truth Blast. People fully vaxxed, if I can use that term. Okay, I don't want to get in any trouble here.
Oh, you can use that term.
It's no longer fully vaxxed.
Really?
It's up to date. That's something screwed up.
I didn't hear that one.
Do you know what that
wow.
means? If you had two of these and you got your booster or whatever, so-called, two of them was all you needed to begin with, and you're considered fully vaxxed. Well, now it's not fully vaxxed. You're up to date. So you're just like your animal that goes to the vet now. You're up to date on your shots.
You know what that sounds like?
What is that?
That sounds like they think of you as a machine. Are you up to date? Or is your OS updated to the latest operating system? I mean, that is screwed up.
Yeah. I mean, that is just nuts. I mean, I'm like, what? And then I don't know if anybody saw that. I don't know if any of you guys used to watch America's Funniest Videos.
Oh yeah,
and all that stuff. The star there was Bob Saget. And Bob Saget died either today or yesterday.
I think it was last
night. He just got
night.
on the night before. He was having trouble. He just got his booster.
Oh boy!
After his two other shots, and he died. Now they're just saying it was suicide, but sounds like a cover up. To me.
Yeah. And then I saw another thing that suggested he died in his sleep. But yeah, that would, you get the booster and you die in your sleep. I mean
it's kind of coincidental. He isn't really old.
Yeah.
He
was 65 years old. That is young this day and age.
Oh my!
And I just had a relative pass away unexpectedly. Not to get too personal, but it's just, it's like why didn't I tell him, or you know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
so
I'm just having a problem with, put all the information you have out there, good and bad, whatever it is. For, against, whatever. Put it all out there. Letting people make their own decision.
Yeah.
Because when you pick and choose, of course you're going to have people against each other. Of course people are going to believe this. That's all they see.
Yeah.
Especially on the mainstream media,
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll tell you something else that's a little weird. There's been 120 some athletes, professional athletes, just kill over recently in the last 5 months.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of soccer players.
Soccer players is the worst.
And I saw tennis players.
Basketball players. I do know there's videos of a lot of soccer guys and tennis people.
Yeah, soccer.
Just killing over dead.
Yeah.
Now, those people are in pretty good shape.
I would say.
I mean, they're running around. Put it to you this way. Has there ever been a large group of people that's in professional sports?
No.
Just start falling over in the middle of a game or anything?
I can answer that. No, there had been some, but for soccer players to have cardiac arrest out of the blue in just 1 year, it was like I'd say 4,000% higher than it had been in the past.
The bad thing is, the only thing that they can attribute anything to is that all of them were fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
So that's just either a major coincidence or there's something sinister going on.
Yeah, there's something wrong.
So, I mean, that's just, if everybody was drinking the same water, hey, man, maybe it's something in the water, as we used to say. But
right.
That's the only correlation that any of them have.
Wow.
So that kind of raises eyebrows,
Yeah. Yeah, there's not something in the water.
But.
Well, I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but.
Oh, no, here we go.
Might as well. And there was a doctor, I can't remember his name. Maybe we could talk about him some other time. But there was a doctor who came out, or maybe it was a scientist. It was a doctor or scientist, maybe a doctor/scientist. Came out and said they have graphene hydroxide in the vaccine. Did you hear about that? And so something about this graphene hydroxide doesn't go away. It's heavy metal. Yeah, it's heavy metal.
Yeah.
It's physically shaped kind of like a blade. It's very sharp, and at a nano level. So it's like a nano razor blade.
Like a nanoparticle.
And when these soccer players overexert themselves, they're just chopping up their veins, chopping up their heart, their arteries. And I don't know if this will even make it on YouTube, but it's pretty scary stuff. And he died a day later after he said that. So something tells me.
That's odd.
It's
awful coincidental.
Very coincidental.
Well, I'll tell you, that makes it sound like there's a a lot of people don't know much about cars, but there's a compound that you can put in. It's actually used in the machining process of a vehicle, and it's called lapping compound.
Yeah.
And that's what it does is the harder it moves and the more it goes up and down, the more wear it causes.
Yeah.
And they use it to break in cylinder walls on motors and stuff like
sure.
that. And that makes it, what you're explaining makes it sound something similar like a lapping compound.
Yeah, sure.
In the human body, you know.
Yeah.
That's not a good.
That's a great. I've never heard it put that way. That's a great way to put it.
Well, I mean, that's just something that I know a little bit about. But
yeah. Well, these people that sit all at the desk all day, maybe nothing happens to them. You know, I mean, people sit around, but you know, the people that overexert themselves, they're gonna have things go through the body quick. And
well, yeah, you know, and I'll tell you, that's always a concern of mine. I don't know how you feel about this.
Oh yeah.
But you know, this is a totally different subject. But
sure.
You know, we went from a revolutionary part of our country being built. Let's just take a time period from the early 1900s. You know, the roaring 20s, let's say, up until, I don't know, up till 2000.
Sure.
And, you know, our grandparents, I guess, would be in the category of, you know, they really, really helped build the country, you know, by their bare hands. You know, they were the people who built the skyscrapers. They were the people who put the time in for, you know, well, during the Depression, out by where I live, you know, Ohio has a bunch of locks and dams. There was a major project in the 30s during the Great Depression to get people working again. The government had sponsored it. And they made wastelands and built locks and dams. And a lot of Ohio, other than Lake Erie, to my knowledge, I don't even think the Ohio River would be considered in this, but Lake Erie is, if I can remember correctly, is one of or the only natural occurring lake in Ohio. Most of the other ones were built by the Army Corps of Engineers, like Tappan. Tappan's a big one, Tappan Dam.
No, I did not know that. What about over by Hocking Hills there?
All that stuff was built.
Yeah, really?
Part of there's a dam not far from where I live. It's called the Mohicanville Dam. It's a dry dam. So that means it don't have a big lake behind it or something like that to hold in. And you can walk up to any of these dam projects and walk up to the dam itself. They usually have a walkway you can go up. And they'll have a plaque there either before you get to the dam or on the side of the dam and tell you that it was like part of the, you know, Ohio wasteland management, or I can't exactly remember the terminology. Maybe I'll drive down there and take a photo of it and put it on there on Truth Blast. It's kind of a neat thing. All the dams and the projects in the 30s, you know, it regulated the water in the Ohio River and all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. All that stuff took place in the 30s, and the dams that are still here today.
Oh, wow.
Why don't our roads last like that?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there was something funny I read, you know, about Roman concrete lasting all, you know, all those 2000s of years or whatever.
I kind of always wondered.
Yeah,
you know?
there's different compounds in it. Our concrete's basically made for 30, 40 years, and now it pretty much wears
the last 3.
yeah. Sometimes some of the new stuff lasts 3 years.
Well, I had a friend that was telling me he was in the military back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he was stationed, he met his wife in England, okay? And in England, they had done some things that they actually did on U.S. Route 30 just recently, because they have a test spot here on 30 out by our place.
Yeah.
They would typically they put concrete down after rocks and all that stuff as a base. Then they put the layer of, what do you call it, blacktop over top of that. Okay? Well, over in England, they did it the other way. They'd put layer after layer of blacktop, and then they poured the concrete on top.
Interesting.
So, Route 30 East, outside of, what town would that be? Worcester, Ohio, matter of fact. There's a section, it's like a mile section, because they extended the expressway there. It used to be a turnaround. They extended it. And that there is a test spot for Ohio to see how well it holds up in freezing and thawing conditions.
Oh, interesting.
And it's held up pretty dang good.
Oh, see? They figured it all out.
But they had done that back in the 80s over in England.
Wow.
You know, because of conditions and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, it's always rainy there and cold.
Oh, yeah. And some of our country don't have to experience that. I mean, you go down south in the Carolinas and stuff. I mean, you know, they get cool weather, but it's not. My cousin, I just talked to him the other day. He said, man, I can't handle this. It's getting down to 30s.
Oh, no.
You know, we're down in the negatives and in the teens, in the single digits.
It's so cold.
I went hunting last
Yep.
weekend, and it was 6 degrees, and whew,
Jeez.
and that wasn't the actual temperature with your
Clothes on.
wind chill factor. And
Oh,
everything.
wind chill, yeah.
Good grief, man! I don't know. It had to be 10 degrees cooler. It was cold.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what.
It sounds.
Like I'm an idiot. I shouldn't
Yeah.
be out in this, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah. I was freezing today,
but
so.
yeah, trying to get my hat straight here, guys. Hate that. There we go. Everything's backwards.
Yeah. Is there any audio coming through those headphones?
No,
Yeah. Well, it's. I think it's recording. So.
we are having a technical moment,
Yeah.
if we can say. I couldn't even hear myself talk. They turned on.
You're probably better now. Yeah, they're on. They're
Okay.
on. My headphones didn't have anything coming out. I think it's just the program.
Well, unique.
It's fun. Well, all right.